Welcome back to the Electrical Building Design Show. In this episode, I want to compare and contrast the new wire sizing that Autodesk implemented in Revit 2026 and what we've done in Revit using ElectroBIM. Let's take a look at the Revit electrical conductor and cable settings. On this first tab, they have three properties: conductor materials, temperature ratings, and insulation materials. It has places to store all of these values. You can set it in the cable type, so you can assign it to a cable type. You can access this through the API, so if you are a third-party developer, you could use it. As the end user, it's not otherwise exposed or used for anything. So they have these parameters, they have the properties available, they're not using them. In ElectroBIM, we don't call out the different properties separately. Instead, we have wire sizes, and we have these different groups. And the way we have it put together is that the assumption is that each group is going to have a wire material and a insulation material kind of embedded in it. Out of the box, we have aluminum and copper with different insulation ratings, and that's how we are handling those two properties. For the temperature rating, that is handled in our wire ampacities command, where you set the temperature rating for each configurations of wires. And we have built into the software the 60, the 75, and the 90 degrees. The temperature rating of the conductor is used in the calculation when we're derating wires for ambient temperature. So we use that value in our software. Next, in Revit, they have the conductor sizes tab. This is where they have the different sizes of wires and their diameters. It's a single diameter for each wire, so it's presumably the diameter of the wire itself. It does not include the insulation diameter at all. And these diameters aren't used anywhere. You can specify them, but they're not actually used in the software. In ElectroBIM, we also have diameters. This is again set in your wire sizes. We have two diameters for each type of wire. It's the wire plus the insulation area, and then the wire area only. The insulation area is used when calculating conduit fill. The wire only area is used when doing upsizing for ground wires. So we have the area for each wire, and then we're using that in our calculations. And you specify this based upon that group so that you can specify it differently. Here we have the aluminum wire with the XHHW insulation, and then we've got the copper THHN, different insulation diameters and areas. We also call out the sizes differently based upon the group. So the number 12 is going to presumably be a number 12 copper, and then the aluminum is called out separately as a number 12 AL. This way, when you're looking at your schedules, it's clear which material for the wire is being used. Going back to Revit, the third tab is cable sizes, and this is the list of each configurations of conductors in a cable. You name them manually, and you specify the number of hots and neutrals and the ground sizes manually. So this is all a manual process for each configuration of wire. In ElectroBIM, we have our wire ampacities table, where we're doing a similar but not exactly the same thing. This is where you specify for a breaker rating what size wire you're going to use and what size ground based upon whether it's a service or equipment ground, and then the number of parallel runs. We then take a look at the circuit, we look at the number of poles on the circuit, and we assign the number of hot wires and the number of neutrals automatically. So you don't have to create 3 number 12s, 2 number 12s, a number 12 with a neutral, all of those configurations. You just say, okay, we're going to use number 12 wire. ElectroBIM figures out the number of wires for you. We also differentiate between equipment and service grounds, and so we assign the appropriate ground size for your wires without having to ask you to create the different wire configurations. And then parallel runs is also included here. In Revit, you set this in the circuit. We can take a look at that in a moment. In ElectroBIM, you set it in the wire configuration. So you can say for a 600 amp feeder, we are going to have 2 parallel runs, and it will always have 2 parallel runs of 350 kc mil wire. You don't have to remember to specify that. In Revit, to set the number of parallel runs, you have to go to the circuit, and when you assign the wire size to that circuit, you can also specify the number of runs. The last tab for Revit are the cable types. This is where you set the properties for your conductors, and you assign the cable sizes that are usable for that cable type. Then when you are in the circuit, selecting the cable type, it gives you the appropriate cable sizes. This is where if you have different cable sizes and different ground sizes for copper or aluminum, you could specify all that and have the different cable sizes. So when you select an aluminum cable type, it's going to give you different sizes from a copper cable type. In ElectroBIM, that's going to be handled really with our wire ampacities command. Again, we have for each Breaker, we have multiple options. Out of the box, we have copper and aluminum. You can add to this. So we have the copper sizing, and then we have the aluminum sizing. So when you choose it, we're going to choose what you've specified as the wire sizes and the ground sizes. In the Revit cable types, you have a single material. So for your aluminum wires, presumably you're going to have aluminum grounds. It's not really specified what those are, but you can assume they're probably going to be the same wire type based upon how they have things configured. We found there's a bit of a split in the industry as to whether you use copper or aluminum grounds if you have aluminum wires. Out of the box, we actually use copper wires. We found that's a little bit more of a default. So our ground wires are copper and our hot wires are aluminum. If you want to change that, you can do that in our software, so we could change these to aluminum ground wires. Having the wire material called out in the wire size helps you differentiate as to what types of wires are being used. In Revit, there's no clear way to differentiate that different wires are different materials in a cable type. For specifying the cable sizes in Revit, that's all done manually. So you select your piece of equipment, you go to the circuit that it's on, and you choose the cable type, and then you choose the corresponding cable size. You set the number of parallel runs. That's all a manual process. If you add or subtract load, you need to change the wire size appropriately. If you change a panel size, you need to change that wire size on the feeder. If you have voltage drop and you need to account for that, you need to upsize that wire manually. You also need to create a new cable size that has the appropriately sized ground wire. In ElectroBIM, we size all of the wires. If you scroll down, you can see the wire size assigned by ElectroBIM. So it gives you that wire size, it gives you the ground size. We also size the conduit as well. Revit doesn't have any conduit sizing happening at all. In ElectroBIM, we do have the conduit sizes. They have internal areas. We know the areas of the wires, so we can figure out the number of wires and then the size of the conduit that's going to fit in it based upon a 40% fill. ElectroBIM is sizing that automatically. If you need to override that, you can set values in the device itself. So we could run instance edit and we could say for this piece of equipment, we need to size the conductors to a specific value. You can also, at the circuit level, set a specific value using our circuit edit command. So we can specify the conductor size here. One thing we could do is we could change it just from a copper to an aluminum. So we're sizing it automatically, but now we're sizing this specific circuit to aluminum wire rather than copper wire. If it upsizes automatically for voltage drop, or you manually upsize it for voltage drop, you're going to get a new ground size as well. Revit removed all automatic wire sizing, so they also removed their ambient temperature considerations, so that's no longer an option. So they're really not sizing wires for you, so it doesn't make sense to include the ambient temperature. ElectroBIM does have ambient temperature. You set it at the project level, then you can also set it for each specific circuit, and so you can upsize your wires to account for the derating of the ambient temperature. So currently we've got, we'll set this back to copper. We've got number 4 copper here. It's defaulting to 30 degrees. If we set this to 45 degrees, we're going to get number 1 copper instead. So again, Revit removed all their wire sizing. They removed everything accounting for voltage drop. Their voltage drop was wrong for a multitude of reasons. So it wasn't really anything you could use or rely on in your projects. It didn't account for multiple feeders. Everything was copper. So voltage drop in Revit is completely gone at this point. In ElectroBIM, we are calculating the voltage drop. We're calculating it correctly. We're taking into account multiple feeders, your branch circuits. We're taking into account the impedances from transformers. Everything you need to do a proper voltage drop calculation is in the software. And then we can report these values, and you have options to upsize automatically or not, depending on what you as the engineer would prefer to do. So that's the difference between ElectroBIM and Revit wire sizing in Revit 2026. If you are using Revit and you want to use their wire sizes, if you have 2026 projects, you can use their new features. If you want to use ElectroBIM, all of these features are available back to Revit 2021. You can download a free trial from our website at designmaster.biz.